All right, so we're diving into the 24 hours of Le Mans. I mean, this race, it's legendary, it's intense, almost like a religion for motorsports fans, wouldn't you say? And we're going to get you up to speed on everything Le Mans, the history, the tech, all the good stuff.
It really is something else. Le Mans, it's where the latest tech gets put through its paces. Every lap is like a testament to what we can achieve with engineering, with human skill. But yeah, pushing those limits, it can come at a cost.
Definitely. It's a dangerous game, and Le Mans has seen its share of tragedy over the years, for sure. But that just makes those victories, those moments of triumph, all the more significant, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so let's rewind. Back to the very beginning, 1923.
1923.
Dusty roads,
Yeah.
not the pristine tracks we see today.
Not even close.
It was a different world back then.
Yeah.
And the drivers, they weren't just racing for speed, not at first. It was about proving that these machines, they could actually last, that they could handle the punishment.
It was a test of endurance, pure and simple. Survival of the fittest, for both car and driver.
Exactly. The founders, guys like Georges Durand, they understood that reliability. That was the key. They were visionaries in a way. They saw the potential for something incredible.
And look at what it's become, a global phenomenon. And speaking of incredible, those early races were dominated by some legendary drivers. The Bentley boys, for example. They really put Bentley on the map, didn't they?
They were fearless. Those guys and their Bentleys, they just kept coming back for more. And they set the stage for what Le Mans would become, a battleground for national pride. Countries saw this race as a chance to prove their engineering prowess on a global stage.
And after World War II, with technology advancing at an incredible pace, things really started to heat up. That's when we saw some truly iconic designs hitting the track, like the Jaguar D-Type.
Oh, the D-Type now, that was a masterpiece. Its aerodynamic design, it was revolutionary for its time.
Yeah.
Jaguar, they really pushed the boundaries. But you see, pushing boundaries, it always comes with risks. And in 1955, Le Mans faced one of its darkest days.
Yeah, the 1955 tragedy. It was a terrible reminder of just how dangerous this sport can be, and it forced everyone to reevaluate safety measures.
It was a turning point for motorsport in general.
But the spirit of Le Mans, it couldn't be broken. And in the 1960s, we saw a rivalry for the ages. Ford versus Ferrari.
Ah, Ford versus Ferrari, what a story. It wasn't just about the cars, it was personal. Henry Ford II, he wanted to conquer Le Mans, to prove a point. And when Enzo Ferrari refused to sell him his company, well, Ford saw it as a challenge.
It was an epic showdown, a clash of titans. Ford poured everything into developing the GT40, and that car was a beast.
It was a game changer. The GT40 was designed for one purpose and one purpose only, to beat Ferrari.
And beat them they did. 4 consecutive victories. It was a golden age for Ford.
And that 1969 finish, my goodness, talk about a nail-biter. Jackie Ickx, winning by a hair's breadth. It's a moment that's still debated among motorsport enthusiasts today.
It's one for the history books, that's for sure. But as the 60s drew to a close, a new decade brought a new contender to the forefront, Porsche.
Porsche, they were already a force to be reckoned with, but the 1970s, that's when they really came into their own at Le Mans. And, it wasn't just about building faster cars. It was about a fundamental shift in the philosophy of racing.
Yeah, things were changing. The world was changing.
Exactly. The 70s, they saw the oil crisis, and suddenly fuel efficiency, it wasn't just some abstract idea, is a real concern, and it started to influence everything, even motorsport.
Le Mans, it's always been a reflection of the times. And that focus on efficiency, it wasn't just a passing fad, was it? It changed the game completely.
Completely. And it set the stage for some of the most innovative years in Le Mans history.
Yeah.
But we'll save that story for another time. And you know that distance record that I mentioned? Set by Porsche.
The one from 1971.
That's the one. It stood for almost 40 years. Can you believe that?
It's a testament to how much things were changing. But it wasn't just about fuel efficiency, was it? The entire design philosophy for race cars, it had to evolve.
Absolutely. Porsche, they were leading the charge with their 917, their 935, the 936. These cars were technological marvels. Aerodynamics, engine technology, they were rewriting the rulebook.
And then came Group C in the 1980s.
Now, Group C, that was a wild era. Talk about pushing the limits.
We're talking ground effects, lightweight materials, turbochargers. These cars were like something out of a sci-fi movie.
They were incredible. And the best part, a lot of those innovations, they eventually trickled down to the cars we drive every day. Fuel injection, carbon fiber, anti-lock brakes. Le Mans helped make those things a reality.
So it was more than just a race. It was about pushing the entire automotive industry forward.
Exactly. It was a proving ground for technology that would eventually benefit everyone. And while Porsche dominated much of the early Group C era, there were other contenders.
Jaguars, they made a big comeback in the late 80s with their XJR9 and XJR12.
A triumphant return for the British.
Whoa.
And who can forget Mazda's historic win in 1991?
With the rotary engine. What a sound.
The 787B, the first and only Japanese car to ever win Le Mans.
It really shook things up. But even with all the success of Group C, there were challenges on the horizon.
Costs were getting out of control, and fewer teams could compete at that level. The ACO, the organizers of Le Mans, they knew something had to change.
They had to adapt, just like the cars and drivers themselves.
And that's when they shifted their focus to production-based GT cars.
And that was a brilliant move. It opened the doors for a whole new era of competition with legendary supercars battling it out for the win.
We're talking about the McLaren F1 GTR, the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR. It was a golden age for supercar enthusiasts. But amidst all this, a new contender was quietly making its mark. Audi.
Audi, they were the underdogs for a while, weren't they?
They had a different approach, you see. While other manufacturers were focused on outlandish designs and raw horsepower, Audi concentrated on reliability, efficiency, and strategy.
And boy, did that strategy pay off. Their R8 model, it dominated the 2000s, winning 5 out of 6 years.
But then came 2006, and Audi, they did something truly unexpected. They won with a diesel engine.
A diesel. The R10 TDI, right?
The very one. It was a gamble, but it paid off spectacularly.
It showed the world that diesel could be both powerful and efficient.
It was a real game changer. And while other manufacturers were trying to catch up with diesel technology, Audi, they were already looking further ahead to hybrid power.
Talk about staying ahead of the curve. The 2010s, that was the beginning of the hybrid era at Le Mans.
And it wasn't just about simple gas-electric hybrids. These were incredibly sophisticated systems. Energy recovery, lightweight materials, the works. It was an all-out technological arms race.
And in the middle of it all, Porsche, never one to be left behind, they made a roaring comeback.
Yeah, their 919 hybrid, what a machine. 3 victories in a row. It really cemented their place in this new era of motorsport. But, you know, there was another team. They had been so close for so long, but just couldn't quite seal the deal.
You're talking about Toyota, right?
Yeah, Toyota.
They were the perennial bridesmaids of Le Mans. Always there, always competitive, but just couldn't seem to get over that hump.
It's true, but they never gave up. And in 2018, all that persistence, it finally paid off. 2018, that was their year. Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Buemi, Kazuki Nakajima, they piloted that TS050 hybrid to victory.
What a moment! After decades of trying, they finally did it.
It was a victory for the ages. And you know what? It wasn't just a one-off. Toyota, they went on to dominate the next few years.
They really did. 2019, 2020, 2021, even 2022. It was an incredible run.
A true dynasty.
It's amazing to see how far this race has come.
Yeah.
From those early days of just trying to survive to this high-tech battle of hybrid power. It's come a long way. But you know, what I love about Le Mans is that it's not just about these big manufacturers with their massive budgets.
It's true. There's always been a place for the little guy. The privateer teams.
The underdogs.
They bring a whole different level of passion and ingenuity to the race.
Like, remember Jean Rondeau back in 1980? He built his own car from scratch and then drove it to victory. Can you imagine?
What a story. Le Mans is full of stories like that.
It really is. But for me, it always comes back to the human element.
Absolutely, the drivers.
Yeah. Pushing themselves to the limit, battling fatigue, the mental pressure for 24 hours straight.
It's superhuman. Think about Louis Rosier back in 1950. He drove almost the entire race by himself.
It's crazy. And it's not just the drivers. It's the entire team working behind the scenes, the mechanics, the engineers, all those volunteers. It's a massive collaborative effort, all driven by a shared passion for this incredible race.
And the fans. Can't forget about the fans. The entire city of Le Mans comes alive during race week. The atmosphere is electric.
It's unlike anything else in motorsport, but as we look to the future, technology is always evolving. What's next for Le Mans? What do you think?
It's a good question. But if history has taught us anything, Le Mans, it's all about innovation.
Right, right. And the ACO, they've made it clear, sustainability is the name of the game moving forward.
We're already seeing glimpses of that future. The Mission Age 24 program with its hydrogen-powered cars, that's incredibly exciting.
Cars that emit nothing but water. It sounds like something out of a movie. But hey, this is Le Mans. Anything is possible.
Le Mans, it's always been a testing ground for the future of motorsport. And I think we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg.
It's about pushing the limits, challenging ourselves to go further, faster, and now cleaner. It's what Le Mans is all about, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's a testament to the human spirit. Our drive to explore, to compete, to innovate, that's what makes Le Mans so special.
It's more than just a race. It's a symbol of human ingenuity and determination. So there you have it, a deep dive into the incredible history of the 24 hours of Le Mans. From those early days of endurance racing to the high-tech hybrid battles of today, it's a race that never fails to captivate and inspire.